Dan, a city reeking of falsehood. The stench of it clung to the air like rot. Their golden calf stood tall, a grotesque monument to everything we had fought against since the days of Moses. And there at the heart of it all was Zalmon, high priest, charlatan, king of lies. His robe was fine, his voice smooth as oil, but his soul was as black as the idols he worshipped. I confronted him in the public square. His followers surrounded us, their eyes glazed with devotion to their false god. He mocked me openly, calling me a madman, a relic of the past. But I stood tall, my voice booming over the murmurs of the crowd. "You bow to metal, to stone, to empty promises," I shouted, my words striking like the blows of a hammer. "But the God of Israel lives. His fire burns. His justice is coming." Zalmon's laughter echoed like the hiss of a serpent. He had me seized, thrown into a cell to rot. But I knew Yahweh would not abandon me. That night, as the sky churned with dark clouds, I called out to the God of our ancestors, and he answered. A storm unlike any the city had ever seen descended upon Dan. The air cracked with the fury of heaven, and in a single blinding strike, the lightning smote the temple of their false god, setting it ablaze in front of all their eyes. The people trembled. Some fell to their knees, tears streaming down their faces as they cried out to Yahweh. But I knew Zalmon wouldn't give up his power so easily. His eyes, burning with hatred, followed me as I left the city. I could feel the knives of his vengeance already aiming for my back. We marched through the hills, the wind howling like a pack of wolves at our heels. The ground beneath us was hard and unforgiving, much like the road we had chosen. I could feel it. Zalmon's assassins, lurking in the shadows, watching, waiting. By now, I had gathered more men, farmers, priests, warriors, all bound by a single purpose: to cleanse Israel of the corruption that had taken root in its soul. We were the defenders of the covenant, a name whispered among our people, feared by our enemies. But as we made our way through the narrow passes of Ephraim, Zalmon's mercenaries descended upon us like jackals in the night. The clash was brutal, ferocious. Blades sang as they met, blood spilled like wine on the rocks, and the air filled with the cries of men giving their last breath to the cause of righteousness. I fought as I had never fought before. My sword, untested until that moment, became an extension of my fury, of the fire that burned in my chest. We were outnumbered, pressed against the cliffs, but I refused to yield. "Yahweh fights for us," I shouted, and with those words, I charged. My men followed, their courage rising like a tidal wave. We fought with the strength of lions, and when the dust settled, the assassins lay broken at our feet, their lifeless bodies a testament to Yahweh's power. I stood over the battlefield, my chest heaving, my heart pounding like a war drum. Victory was ours, but I knew more battles lay ahead.